25-year-old woman, divorced 3 years ago, was brutally killed by her relatives in western Iran for alleged honor killing. Jailed monarchist Samaneh Noruzmoradi, diagnosed with cancer in Iran prison. The Islamic authorities have been persecuting her by denying her adequate medical treatment. Citizen records collection of garbage by teenager, referring to Khomeini's cruelty. Our beloved king of kings didn't put crown on his own head, but rather he places the crown on head of his own people. In doing so, he had given dignity to people of Iran. Middle East was at peace. Iranian prisoner died under torture on Friday. 35-year-old Bahman Oghabi fell into a coma after being beaten and tortured by the security forces in western Iran, where he lost his life in local hospital. Monarchist Mahboubeh Rezai was sentenced to 2 years and 6 months in prison for alleged assembly and collusion against national security and membership in monarchist groups. She was sent to prison to serve her imprisonment. A 60-year-old woman died in Bandar Abbas last night after being pepper sprayed by police. She is the second woman who died in the past year after being pepper sprayed by police. Shareholders whose assets have been stolen by the Islamic Republic continue protest in front of Tehran Stock Exchange, chanting anti-regime slogans. The commission chairman of the Islamic Consultative Assembly has said, "We believe that the personal intervention by the president and his office has led to volatility at the Tehran Stock Exchange." 95% of Iranian laborers have fallen into the poverty line, yet Tehran spends billions annually to support terrorists and rogue regimes. A government official from the Ministry of Labor and Social Welfare says more than 1,000 manufacturers' units owned by the banks have been shut down and 9,000 workers laid off. The number of employees in manufacturers' units owned by banks has decreased from 14,477 to 5,159. Peasants in southwestern Iran held a protest over water shortage. Trial of 3 civil activists, Arsham Rezai, Mohammad Abul Hassani, and Shakila Monfared, was held today at Tehran Islamic Revolutionary Court. Then after, agents took Shakila into prison. They are accused of propaganda against Islamic Republic of Iran, blasphemy, and acting against national security. Following the arrest and charging of Kaveh Lutfullah Afrasiabi on Tuesday, detained for posing as a political scientist and lobbying to advance the regime's agenda in the United States, a US-based Iranian think tank is urging the Biden administration to take decisive action against unregistered agents of the Iranian regime in the United States. Iranians Americans for Liberty put out a statement applauding the arrest of Afrasiabi, while simultaneously identifying this move as merely the tip of the iceberg. We urge the Department of Justice and President Joe Biden to take a strong stance and decisive action against Islamic Republic regime officials that are hiding in plain sight throughout America. Iranian Americans for Liberty said in a press release. Afrasiabi was allegedly paid, directed and controlled by the government of Iran to lobby United States government officials, including a congressman, and to create and disseminate information favorable to the Iranian government, said FBI Special Agent in Charge Bonavolonta. Tehran responded to Afrasiabi's arrest on Wednesday, claiming that the arrest constituted hostage-taking of Iranian nationals and was baseless, according to ISNA News. Americans have sadly become addicted to such actions and take hostages for any excuse, said Iran Foreign Ministry spokesman Saeed Khatibzadeh in an apparent attempt to downplay the allegations against Afrasiabi. Afrasiabi advised Tehran on how to respond to the killing of Qasem Soleimani in January 2020, suggesting Iran end all inspection and end all information on Iran's nuclear activities pending a United Nations Security Council condemnation of the United States illegal crime. Afrasiabi claimed that such a move would, among other things, strike fear in the heart of the enemy, according to the Department of Justice. Iranian Americans for Liberty says that Afrasiabi is in the company of Mr. Hossein Mousavian, a Princeton University visiting research scholar who was also the Iranian ambassador to Germany from 1990 to 1997. Mousavian presided over the assassination of over 90 dissidents from Europe by the Islamic Republic death squads, and presents a clear and present danger to the life and safety of Americans, and Iranian Americans in particular, and should not be given shelter in America, according to Iranian Americans for Liberty. Iran's exports to India have been sharply dropped by 11% in 2020. India's official statistics show a sharp drop in Iran's exports to the country in 2020. According to the statistics, India imported 279 million of products from Iran in 2020, while the figure was about 3.4 billion in 2019. The nation's export to Iran also fell by 42% to 2.2 billion. India was Iran's second largest oil purchaser after China, before the United States sanctions by Donald Trump. China's customs statistics also show that its imports from the Islamic Republic fell by less than half compared to the same period last year. Iran's export to South Korea fell to less than 9 million, while the figure was more than 2.2 billion in 2019. South Korea exported 186 million to Iran last year. This is the first time that the exports from China, India, and South Korea to Iran exceeds their imports from the country. France's foreign minister says Iran is in the process of building up its nuclear weapons capacity. The Islamic Republic of Iran has been expediting its breaches of the Iran nuclear deal, as earlier this month kept moving forward with plans to enrich uranium to 20% fissile strength at its underground Fordo nuclear plant. Foreign Minister Jean-Yves Le Drian's comments came in an interview released on January 16th. It was urgent to tell the Iranians that their enrichment activities have gone far enough, and to bring Iran and the United States back into accord, the main aim of which was to extend the time Iran would need to produce enough fissile material for a nuclear bomb to at least a year, Jean-Yves Le Drian said. Jean-Yves Le Drian says Tehran and Washington returned to the Iran nuclear deal. However, he emphasized that even if both sides were to return to the deal, it would not be enough. Tough discussions will be needed over ballistic proliferation and Iran's destabilization of its neighbors in the region, he added. On Monday, France, Britain, and Germany expressed deep concern over Iran's commencement of uranium enrichment up to 20% in one of its facilities. France, Britain, and Germany have called on January 16th on Iran to halt uranium metal work, warned Tehran against starting work on uranium metal-based fuel for alleged research reactor. The nations pressed Iran on Saturday to back off the latest planned violation of the 2015 Iran nuclear deal with global powers. In a joint statement, the European nations said, "We strongly encourage Iran to end this activity and return to full compliance with its commitment under the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action without delay, if it is serious about preserving this agreement." France, Britain, and Germany also added no credible civilian use for uranium metal. The production of uranium metal has potentially grave military implications. The three countries said it contravened the 2015 Iran nuclear deal. Iran's IRGC fired abundant surface-to-surface ballistic missiles and tested locally manufactured new drones in a military exercise on Friday. The IRGC drill was overseen by Guards Commander Major General Hossein Salami in Iran's central desert region. came in the waning days of high tensions with Washington. IRGC also tested short-range naval missiles on Wednesday. As well as earlier this month, it featured a wide array of its domestically produced drones. Further, IRGC's bomber drones struck the hypothetical enemy missile's shield from all directions, completely destroying the targets, the Islamic Republic State TV said. Also, an abundant number of a new generation of ballistic missiles were fired at selected targets, inflicting deadly blows at the hypothetical enemy bases. Iranian-made semi-heavy submarine test fired torpedoes during Army-Navy drills. Iran's domestically developed semi-heavy Fateh the Conqueror submarine test fired torpedoes and successfully hit the hypothetical target, state-run media reported. The local-made submarine tested torpedoes during Marine Power 99 military drills of the Iranian Army-Navy, which started on Wednesday in Makran Coast and the northern Indian Ocean. Spokesman of the drills, Rear Admiral Hamzeh Ali Kaviani, said the surface-to-surface cruise missiles, submarine and flight units of the Iranian Navy took part in the drills, according to local media. Shooting surface-to-surface cruise missiles and torpedo from domestic submarines, exercises of the special forces in coast and sea, drone and electronic war operations were on the agenda. Earlier in January, the first major drone exercise of the Iranian army was staged in the northern province of Semnan, semi-official ILNA said.